Folks, how you doing? We back again with another hot edition of the Actors Cut with HUBERT Guy. I have the wonderfully beautiful and wonderfully super talented Tiffany Handy in the building today. Tiffany, thank you for coming down.
No problem.
Such a pleasure. This is a wonderful young lady. I've had the honor and privilege to see her work. I haven't had a chance to actually work with her yet, but I'm sure it's gonna come soon. It was probably gonna happen this Sunday. And when I'm saying this Sunday now, you'll probably be seeing this months from now. So this is a later Sunday that we were gonna do something, but I had some other obligations. But it's okay, Tiffany. Thank you for coming down.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
No problem. No problem. So introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are, where you came from.
Hi guys. My name is Tiffany Handy. I go by Tiffany Taylor. I'm an actress. I'm from Florida. I've been acting for like the past 2 years now in New York, and I'm so excited. And I ran across this crazy guy, and he invited me to his show, and hello, I'm here now, so it's exciting.
Yes. So you've only been up here for 2 years, but you've done a lot.
Like a year and a half. I came back up here January of last year.
So, but you've really been on your grind, because I see you doing a lot of stuff.
I have been. I mean, like, you have to motivate yourself, you know, like every day I'm thinking like, this is the only option for me. So what can I do to benefit, you know, myself, or to be like an asset to myself so that I can, you know, bring these dreams I have to fruition.
Right.
It's hard.
Right. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. So tell us about some of your influences growing up. Who were you watching when you were younger that you would like to emulate, or you would see on the screen and be like, I can do that, or I like the way they do? Who were you watching when you were younger that allowed you to start to evolve your way into this acting industry?
I grew up watching Living Single, Girlfriends, Martin, and like shows like that really influenced me a lot, especially Girlfriends, because it's a quintessential show and it shows Black women in so many different ways, but how we can all come together and make it work. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that show in particular, it showed me like you can do so much with acting, because you can be funny, but you can be serious. You know, like you don't have to box yourself in to be limited like one, you know, stereotypical actress. Right. You know, Living Single. Oh my gosh, that show is hilarious.
Hilarious.
That
and it still comes on.
It does.
And Girlfriends.
I watch it. Okay, like if I'm not home and I see Living Single, I mean, if I am home and I see like Living Single on or Girlfriends, that's my day.
Yeah. Yes.
That's my day. Yes. Like, and I'm so content with it.
I cannot argue with that. I cannot argue. They're both great shows.
And Martin, like watching that show.
Greatest sitcom of all time.
Oh my gosh. Especially when it comes to comedy. Like, it just is, there's so many comedic moments like within the show. Like you can draw from it. Like I watch the show and I look at like how they interact and, you know, like the things that they do. And I'm just like, you know, wow, like I can do that, you know? Shows like that really motivate me to want to be an actress.
Right. And with Martin, which is such a great show, is how, like exactly how you said, how they come together on the screen and just the energy. And I can, you know, the reason why I really love that show, and I'm glad that you mentioned it, is because it is such great television. I've seen episodes like 5-6 times, and I still laugh hard as hell like the first time I seen it.
Exactly, because they're relentless. Like, they're not afraid to take it there. You know, they let go. They're comfortable with their comedic abilities, because a lot of the stuff, even though it is scripted, they do improvise a lot on the show. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because if you watch the outtakes, you'll see like the same scene and it'll be like very similar, but some of the jokes will be different.
Right.
So they have creative room to make it, you know, as funny like as they want to make it, or like to live in the moment. And I like that a lot, because it's like some comedic moments just really just come off naturally, you know? And if you can watch that and you can emulate that yourself, like, people are gonna think you're hilarious.
And you really have to be on your toes being on the show with Martin, because you never know what that dude is gonna do. He is just the improv and the ad lib, and you just have to stay on your toes. Yeah, great shows, great shows. And those are some of the shows that I've watched coming up too, you know, just thinking about, you know, being a Black actor. And I really just really got into acting. I mean, I did some stuff a long time ago, but I really just started taking it serious like maybe about 2 years ago. But, you know, it is shows like that you know that you look at and you be like, dude, I can do that. I'm funny. I'm crazy. I can jump around on camera and do stuff.
No, seriously. And it's so crazy because up until last year, I always thought like, oh, I'm this dramatic actress. Like, I want to do drama. Like, oh, you know, but since I've come to New York, I've been doing comedy. Like, I've been doing nothing but comedic plays. And I'm just like, I'm funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. Like, it's so crazy, like, how you see yourself, but you don't necessarily know, like, what your strengths may be unless you open yourself up to the idea of multiple possibilities, you know? So.
Just that exposure of different genres from the humor and from the dramedy and from the in-between, you know? I mean, because this is acting. This is all phases. And it does feel good when we've done something for so long or we categorize ourselves in such a box, but then we start to outbreak into something else because I never did theater before this summer. This was my first time doing theater, and I absolutely love it. Yeah. I've been in 5 plays this summer. You know, I mean, it's just totally different because it's the energy that you bring to it. It's live. It's on right there happening. I
love theater.
Yeah.
I've been doing theater since the Boys and Girls Club in Queens days. Okay. And that's really where my introduction to the performing arts began. I went to the Boys and Girls Club in Queens, and we had a drama department. So I started doing some of the plays, and I was just like, wow, you know, like at first I was playing basketball. I was like, oh, I don't have to get sweaty. I can still be active and be a part of an activity. And that's when I transitioned from the athlete to the actor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I really love it. Like, especially doing comedy, it really took me outside of my comfort zone because I felt so comfortable with drama. Like, I just felt so comfortable with it, and I was so uncomfortable with comedy. And the more that I've practiced and the more comedic shows I've done, I've opened myself up, you know, to growing and taking more risks and taking more chances. And now I feel the opposite. Right. Now I feel like, wow, I can kill comedy, and now I need to kick it up a notch with the drama.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now that's what I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to work on how I can master the two and keep them both, you know, hopping and on the same level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's very understandable, and that's a good segue into my next question. My next question is the state of Black Hollywood, and especially Black actresses. I mean, is very different for us for being a Black actor or a Black actress in general. You know, we have different standards and different things that we're going up against. And how do you feel about the status right now of the Black actress in Hollywood?
I feel as though we've definitely made progress because you have women who are so influential, like Oprah, for instance. Oprah has her own network, OWN. And I tell you, I watch Greenleaf. Oh my gosh, like there's her and Tyler Perry. They do so much for quote unquote Black Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially with his studios that he has in Atlanta. I'm always seeing castings for things in Atlanta. Meet the Browns, you know, all the shows that Tyler Perry has. And I feel as though the Black woman, like, now we're not necessarily being represented like stereotypically or like in a jaded way. Look at Viola Davis.
Right.
Like, she is the leading lady on
she kills that role.
Hit TV show. And according to the standards of beauty, she may not conventionally be it, but she is gorgeous. And people are more receptive and open to different forms and different, like, you know, ideas of what is beautiful. And I think that is the amazing part that's causing the change, because before it's like people knew like, oh yeah, she's talented, she's this, she's that, but we're not gonna invest our money to have her on the screen, you know. Whereas now it's like, okay, you know, she can do it because things are progressing in that way, and it's beautiful because it's my mom, for instance. My mom's like, all these shows I see with all these Black actors coming up, like, I'm just daydreaming, like, that's gonna be you, that's gonna be you. I'm like, mommy, you and me too.
Right.
Who knew?
Right.
I'm daydreaming about that every day. I'm sitting on the train like, oh, happy day.
Yes, and that is true, because it is so much what you got. You got the Get Down now. You got
oh my gosh, I love that show.
The Breaks. What else? I mean, it's so many different roles out here and different genres that's just opening itself up to different people. A friend of mine that's in my talent agency, we have the same agent. She just got like a little co-starring role on The Breaks. I know another person who just got put on Deuces. So I mean, it's our time.
It really is. It really is.
It's our time.
And I think if you're lazy, you're not gonna succeed.
No.
And if you are giving it if you're not consumed in it, you're not gonna succeed at it. And the reason that is because you have to want it. You have to want it bad, because there's gonna be times where it consumes you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally moved back to New York for acting. Like, I got my degree and I was like, I want to come back for acting. And I've made a lot of sacrifices. And, you know, like, I miss Walmart, you know, I miss Central AC, I miss a parking lot, I miss, you know, being able to pull up in my driveway and hop out of my car. But, you know, I'm here, and it's like, if you don't want it, you're gonna fall to the wayside, because there's so many people who are hungry, who are trying to get it. And I've been lazy, you know, and I see the difference between when I'm lazy and when I'm applying myself. When I'm applying myself, that's when things start to happen for me. When I'm lazy, I'm sitting here wondering, well, why is this person, you know, getting that, and this person's getting that? But I'm just like, who's really to blame? Like, you can't get mad at anybody but yourself, because you're not giving it 100%. Now, if you give it 100%, then you have something to talk about.
Right.
Then you have to reevaluate what you're doing wrong so you can improve it and move on. But unless you're doing that, unless you're giving it your all, you're not gonna succeed. Like, you're not.
And especially here, because I mean, the competition is so fierce, and everybody is an actor here in New York. I mean, everybody. So you really have to like be focused on what you want to do. I mean, countless auditions, castings. I submit to everything. I had some good news yesterday. I just found out that I'm eligible for SAG, so now I'm trying to cast some stuff to get in SAG. But that only came from so much hard work, you know, and being out there and grinding, and just and with me saying that, with SAG, I understand, you know, you can get different roles, sometimes bigger and better roles. What do you feel the importance of SAG is versus, you know, non-union? Because with theater, you know, there's a lot of, you know, non-union plays and so forth, and then you have like the actors' equity with people that just do theater, so forth, that is kind of like their shield, kind of like SAG. But what tell us about how you feel about SAG and the importance of being that versus being non-union.
Well, I'm non-union, and a reason why I would want to be SAG is because, say I did do background work, like, you know, I'm pressed for money. I know that my pay scale is going to be on another level. I'm not going to be working 13 hours a day for $80. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying.
Been there, done that.
Okay. So, in situations like that, and plus, like, it's a union, so they make sure everything is okay. Like, when you're looking at the breakdowns, it'll show you, like, the SAG pay scale and everything like that. They really do cover you. However, if you are SAG, you can't do non-union projects. You know what I'm saying? So it limits you to the amount of projects that you can do, but more doors are open. Some agencies won't even sign you unless you're SAG. So some will help you, you know, become, like, if they see something in you. So it really just depends. Some people like being non-union, and some people prefer to be SAG. I'm non-union, so I can just speak from what I see, and I would like to be SAG because I feel as though going out to LA, it will not necessarily, it will be easier, you know, for me to be taken seriously because I've done my due diligence, you know, whether it's getting the 3 vouchers from backstage, or, I mean, background work, or, you know, getting pulled, you know, and just getting Taft lead, you know, because you were great for the role. You know, it shows that you did the work. Like, you know, as an actor, you earned it, you paid your dues, and now you're trying to work at your craft.
Right. And that just goes back to what we were saying. Being on your grind, continuing to improve yourself, improve your craft, improve your business relationships. This is another thing that I want to talk about too. Let's talk about some of the ways, like for actors coming up and dealing with people as far as managers and going to different auditions and so forth, what is some of the advice that you can give to some actors, especially black actors coming up in this game, that when they go speak with somebody using their professionalism and so forth, what can you tell them?
I would just say to be yourself and communicate effectively. You don't want to communicate and leave room for ambiguity, because you never know how someone can take something that you're saying, and you don't want to be taken the wrong way. So I would just say communicate effectively and positively. And also, you never know who's around. Like, you may go on an audition for something and you may be like, looking at the people like, this is my competition. But you never know. Like, those people can be casting for something else. They can be working on a project and need actors. And honestly, the audition room is where you can really network, because, hello, you guys are all actors. You guys are all trying to do the same thing. And you just never know. Right. So before you even get into the room, you should have your mind, like, set around, this is the audition. You know what I'm saying? You never know who's around. You never know who's watching you. And you never know, like, what I've made connections doing background work. I've met people who introduced me to people, and I started taking an acting class, from that. Had I just been there, like, well, I'm just here to just get this little check, like, then I would have missed out on those opportunities. Like, especially as a black actor, you really have to try and seize any and every opportunity, because even though we have things that are coming about now, it's still very limited comparatively.
Yes, it is.
Because when I go on, like, Actors Access, and I go on, backstage, I still see a lot of castings that'll say Caucasian, Hispanic, Latino or Hispanic, ethnically ambiguous, Asian. It'll list everything but black, right, African American, or African descent. It'll list every other category but those, So it's just like that. Just saying, no black people, no black women in particular. So, it's still kind of hard. And, we still get stereotyped a lot. Like, the pretty girl is still going to be casted, is still predominantly casted as, like, the light-skinned girl, the mixed girl. And the darker girls, casted as, like, the ghetto or the hood or the mean or the boss or the bully. You know what I'm saying? So, like, things like that are still very much prevalent and still present. But it's changing, and it's up to us. And it's like, at these auditions, when we're meeting these people, it's up to us to take, what's going on and try to make a change and be effective with it if we actually mean the things that we're trying to do. Because you have the guy who they're trying to bring him up on these rape charges.
Nate Turner.
Yes.
He
is
and they're not going to screen his movie now. They canceled the screening of his movie.
He funded it himself. He is a black actor, okay? And he funded this movie by himself, and they don't want to screen it. All these festivals who were going to screen his movie. Dang. I was just reading up on this.
Yeah, and I was reading it too, because and they were talking about the discrepancies between, like, how Woody Allen married his daughter and all this stuff, and his screenings was still, his movies, and it was another actor that had did something, but both of those were white, and their movies still were screened, their movies still were put out in theaters, but this was something that actually happened with Nate Turner and a friend of his, which is credited for writing some of the movie. And this happened back in 1999, and they were acquitted of the charges, and they said it was consensual. But now, because he's bringing such a powerful film.
And it's the content.
They no, we're going to try to do everything we can to keep him down and keep this information out.
Because think about it. The content, it's not as though the movie is, uplifting. It's not really. It's showing the truth. It's showing things that took place that people don't want to talk about. It's shining a spotlight on the elephant in the room. People always want to put to bed things that have happened to African Americans in this country, but the history of African Americans in this country is American history, because it has shaped this country in every way. Okay, even things that we do today is pop culture. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's the content of the movie. The fact that he was talking about people who were killing slave owners. This is a country that was built on slavery.
And they don't talk, they may talk about slavery, but they don't talk about how many slaves was.
Do you know how many people were outraged when Michelle Obama said that she lives in a house that was built by slaves? And that is the truth? People were outraged. How dare she say that?
Right.
How dare she? What do you mean, how dare she?
Don't you tell the truth.
How dare that house been built by slaves? How about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, people are getting upset at the wrong things.
Right.
People aren't getting upset when, you know, movies about the Holocaust come out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So why are you getting upset about movies, you know, that pertain to slavery and things that were happening to African Americans? Because it's prevalent and it's necessary, because there's so many things that kids are not learning in school, and a lot of the time you have to educate yourself outside of the classroom, and then you can take that knowledge with you inside of the classroom, but that can't be your only oasis to learn and gain knowledge. You know, like you too have to go out and read and watch films and study, you know, if you want to be knowledgeable. And I commend him for doing this film, because you don't have a lot of people out here that are doing films like that. They're doing, you know, what's in now, like what's hip, what's cool, what's trendy. The
comedies and stuff that's not too, that they know that they can get in.
You know, but like, I like that, because he wasn't afraid to take it there, and I respect it, and I think it's so commendable. And he did it with his own money.
Own paper, didn't ask nobody for nothing.
He funded it himself, and it's like, well, let's just give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have done things that, you know, people get into situations, especially when they're young, and I can understand if he was convicted of rape and he's a sex offender, but he's not.
Right.
You know, so it's like, why go that you know, why go to such extremes and such lengths to dig up something that's really, it's kind of irrelevant.
Anything to hold us down, anything to hold us down, to hold us back to, because the truth hurts. And this is a movie basically about the truth, and certain people don't want you to see it because they don't want you to look at them in a certain way, which already we do. And then when you try to keep something back from us that we already know the truth, that just brings you out even more of the bigot or whatever type of, you know, person you are that's trying to keep the truth from people. Like, it really doesn't make any sense. It is such a crazy double standard in the industry, and you have to know how to roll with it and be able to play your position, play your part. You know, you have to, and that's so very important. And, you know, hopefully he will be able to get his movie out there soon, because I want to see it. I know a lot of people want to see it, and this probably just makes people want to see it even more. Yeah. You know, when it releases.
I mean, I hope that this is because, you know, publicity is publicity, and controversy stirs publicity.
Yes, it does.
So I'm just hoping that, you know, some people will, you know, be like, you know what, and they'll be inquisitive about it, and they'll want to, you know, watch it. They'll want to give it a shot. They'll want to petition for it to, you know, be shown at film festivals, and for it to get more space, like to be out there, so that we can see it and enjoy it and see this man's work. Like, that takes so much talent.
Right.
Like,
time,
to
talent,
be an
money.
actor, but to be an actor that can produce, that can write, that can direct, that's commendable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, and you see, this is not only is she well-educated and well-spoken and extremely talented, this is also a young lady that is really big into fitness. Give some people some quick fitness tips, because you always flexing on Instagram. I'll be like, look at.
You have to, honestly, acting motivated me to get in the gym. Oh my gosh. My best friend, she was the volleyball captain, basketball captain, you know what I'm saying? Like, the athletic one. And then you have me, I was in theater and dance and stuff like that. Oh, it's too hot, I'm going back inside. You know, like, that was me. And then it's just like, I wanted to do this show, and this director was like, you're gonna have to lose a little weight if you're gonna be, you know, in the show. And I was just like, okay. You know, on the outside, but on the inside, I was like,
The lip quiver.
No more patty pies. I love me some sweet potato pie. OMG, do I? So I was just like, dag, like, what is the girl to do? And then I was like, well, I want to do TV and film, and they say the camera adds 10 pounds. So I'm like, dag, if he's seeing me in person and he's telling me that I'm going to need to lose a little weight and then the camera's going to add 10 pounds, I was like, girl, you got to get your life and get it together. So I started going to the gym, and I really started to motivate myself. Like, every day I tell myself, like, girl, you need to get up and go, until it became a habit. And then I started seeing results. Like, one day I walked past the mirror, and I was like,
that's nice.
I was like, oh, what's that? That girl is fine. I was like, yes, ma'am. Like, you did that. Like, you really did that. Like, literally.
Yes.
And that motivated me. Like, the results really do motivate me. And then I like to get cute little workout outfits.
I see.
And switch up my gloves. And I have my little blender bottle. And I be in there like.
And she's calling me crazy. She is something else.
But you really, and you have to enjoy it. Like, I enjoy my workouts. I don't care if people are looking at me and they're like, oh, she's not doing it right. I'm not afraid to ask questions because I know I'm not perfect and I wasn't, trained in fitness. So, like, if I'm doing something wrong, like, I'm like, hey, like, am I doing this right? And someone who looks like they're doing a little better than I am, I'll go to them so they can help me. But you can't be afraid to ask. And going to the gym can be a little intimidating because you see all these people with these nice bodies and you're just like, dang, but you can't let that get the best of you because if you put in the work too, you're going to get there and results are going to come.
Right. So let's give the people, before we run out of time, let the people get your contact information where they can get a hold of you if they want to book you, if they want to get you on a project. How can people get in touch with you?
So my email is tiffany.handy9@gmail.com, and I have Instagram, which is /rendezvous with me. So it's RONDEVU with me, and then you can add me on Facebook, Tiffany Handy. So
add her.
That's how you'll find me.
Directors, casting directors, agents, get at this young lady. She is wonderfully talented and wonderfully beautiful, as well as you can see. And thank you, babe, for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this is a lot of love here. Black actors, we're going to stick together. We're going to keep making it happen.
Yes,
it's so very important, and we're going to continue to take over. And I'd like to thank you again for joining the Actors Cut with HUBERT GUY. Thank you for tuning in every week. We're going to take this to the next level. We're going to have so many more guests and so much more to talk about. We're going to bring you everything that you need. And remember to come down and support the Handsome Good Grooming Hair Studio located at 142 East 27th Street, Suite 1A. This is your main man, HUBERT GUY, with the Actors Cut, signing out with my girl, Tiffany Handy, a.k.a. Tiffany Taylor. We'll see you soon. Peace. Perfect. Excellent. Excelente. See, quick and painful, huh?
Yeah. No, painless. I was a little more nervous. I was like,
no, it's simple. It is simple.
I was just like, wow, I'm ready for interviews.
Yes. With this. Yes, and just come down and it's just very easy. Awesome.
This is so cool.
Yes. Thank you for being my guest. Are you working tonight?
Yeah. I work at 10.
10? Mm-hmm. I may try to come through one time. Get me some drinks.
I'm a bartender.